after a taxing fortnight, how is the body and how are the ribs?
Yeah, the body's good. I feel like another training session under the belt today and a really good one by the boys again. So, yeah, I felt like I was able to get through and definitely tick some more boxes and get some more confidence in my body. So, yeah, looking forward to the weekend.
Saw you training with the pink no contact hat on. Are you just trying to keep it a little bit easy, being sensitive around them a bit?
It's pretty hard to keep it easy out there, but trying a little bit. I think if you look across the league this time of the year and probably later in seasons, that a few players probably have that on a modified training a bit. It's a long season, a lot of games of footy, so you sort of have to do whatever you can, just make sure by the time Friday night rolls around, I'm ready to go.
Is it just one trying to get through it? Like, yeah, you can't really feel it in any way, just time, so try and get through it?
Yeah, I think there's that, but I still like to attack it and still push myself, and I'm still trying to get better at this stage of the year. Obviously, there's finals and that, but if you got to keep improving, you sort of still get left behind at this time of the year, so that's something I'm still trying to do as well.
How much pain were you in on Friday?
A little bit of pain, but I feel like I'm in pain most weekends, so nothing new there, but yeah, I feel like footy's a demanding sport. There's probably plenty of other players going through some other injuries and dealing with their own things as well, and they're getting up and playing key roles for their teams, so there's probably no doubt similar in my position as well.
What was the secret, do you think, to the way your midfield group responded?
Yeah, I think we just had a good honest review as a line and as teammates and as friends as well. We're just demanding on each other to be a bit better in certain areas, and yeah, they're not the easiest conversations to have in the time, but when you look back, it's sort of what's needed in that moment, and I feel like we handled that as a midfield group that's probably been together now for a few years, that we're probably handling them conversations a bit better and then going out there and performing after. So as a group, we're pretty proud.
Was there a weight lifted, I guess, after the win, given, I guess, the whole talk was around not getting it done in finals for a little while? Yeah, was the weight lifted off the group, do you feel?
I wouldn't say it's lifted. We're still in finals. There's still some big games to come, so there's still some work to do. But yeah, we definitely take belief and some confidence out of it. But moving forward, we still know we got some jobs to do and some things to keep working on, improving on.
To get over, I guess, a potential mental hurdle of, like getting maybe blown out finals a couple of games before to actually get the win, it must be massive for the group.
Yeah, definitely massive for the group, and something that we've taken our stride as we move forward. But I feel like there's moments throughout every year where you remember that one for when it comes to these times. So no doubt that was another moment for us, but I feel like we had some good ones during the year as well.
How much do you take from the Swans game here? Obviously, smacked them at Adelaide Oval. How much do you take from that game?
A little bit, but not too much. It's a bit of a different ball game now with finals, and they're in some good form as well. Since that game, they've played some really good footy, and then you see them come back and the way they fought it out against Jeddah. So no doubt we know they're a quality team, and we know we're going to be in for a pretty tough and cracking game of footy on Friday night.
How do you see Burton and Dixon's progress in the early stages of this week?
Yeah, I think they've trained really well today and put their best foot forward, and yeah, shaping up to put themselves up for selection. And yeah, I guess they probably just narrowly missed out last week with a few little things, but yeah, so far so good this week for them.
Just back on the Swans, so I think it's 8 in a row that you guys have won. Has there been any common themes from that? I mean, yeah, why do you reckon you've got such a good record over them recently?
Yeah, I probably haven't been here for all of them. I'm a little bit younger, but I've been here for some of them. So, yeah, there's been some cracking games in there as well. You remember the last time we went up there, we went right down to the final buzzer with the Lear saving the game in the line. So, yeah, they haven't always been tough games against Sydney, and yeah, we've had some really tough ones. So, we know what we're going to have in stock for us, and going up there, their home crowd, they've played some really good footy and got some really quality players that we're going to have to stop.
Do you think Kane will be on the plane?
Not sure about Kane's travel commitments or arrangements, but we'll take him on the plane.
It looks like he's giving it a red hot track, like doing everything to try and get there.
Yeah, I feel like Kane's been super. I feel like he sort of it wasn't looking so good for him at one stage, but yeah, credit to him the way he's handled it and bounced back and just kept showing up and trying to get better, and he's taken some big step forwards in the last few days. Sorry about that as well. I didn't know if you meant Kane Corns or Kane Farrell. So. We'll take both though. We'll take both.
Is that a decision?
I thought it would be cool too.
I was like...
Yeah, so Kane Farrell, does it normally something that you try and do earlier in the week, particularly going into such a big game, or do you think that call will be made later?
Yeah, I feel like Fats obviously had some tests to get through today and some boxes to tick today, but yeah, he's been a quality player for us all year, one of our best probably, and so important down there, and probably with a few people out of there the last few weeks, he's an important player, so I think they'll give him every chance.
When you've got a player like that and it's sort of the elephant in the room, do you Kane Farrell, I mean, Do you address it? Do you say, how does that feel, or do you try not to jinx it and just basically pretend a player's not sort of in a race against time?
Yeah, I think as a mate you want to check in on him and see how he's going and what's his week looking like. But then also we've got some really good medicos and coaches that will handle them probably conversations better. And I'm sure Kane will know the most out of everyone how his body's going and how it's feeling. And then I'm sure he'll relay that back to much higher people than me and his other friends. So yeah, no doubt there'll be some tough decisions this time of year, as there always is.
Unfortunately, you've been no stranger to a fine this year. Now Kenny finds himself in the same situation. Did you have to chat to him about that at all? And in fact, a little bit of a similar situation there.
Yeah, I pretty much said that I don't have any money to help him out with. So, but yeah, obviously the fine is what it is, and yeah, Kenny will wear that, and we move on as a footy club, and we've still got a season in front of us. So right now, it's our main focus, and it's been a few days since then, so we're pretty keen to just look forward to what's next.
Was it a distraction in the immediate aftermath for the players, or did Kenny address the players about it?
Kenny addressed it straight after the game with us in the room after the game, and put his hand up and apologised, just like he did publicly as well. So. Yeah, we move on pretty quickly though. He's our coach. We back him in, and yeah, like you boys and girls seen in the media that he sort of owned it. He sort of owned it to the group as well.
Do you love his emotion, Zach? The way the passion he has for the game, not dissimilar to you, I guess.
Yeah, he's a passionate guy, and sometimes you get caught up in the waves, and you don't quite know what you're saying or what you're doing. And yeah, that's Kenny. And to be fair, that's most competitive people in elite environments. So he's no stranger to that. And like he said, he's still late 50s, I think. I don't know if I want to credit him that, but yeah, he's still learning as well. So I'm sure if he had his time again that he'll be better in that situation.
Do you think that passion and emotion motivates you? I mean, some people do criticise having that much emotion as a head coach, but do you think it, I guess, spurs you on?
Yeah, I guess you see the passion and emotion in that phase, but you also see it in many other phases of his coaching and his relationships with his players as well. So yeah, it boiled over a bit that stage, but there's been plenty of other good instances where you see him after games pretty emotional, and how much it means to him and what it means to the group, and how much he cares about the footy club. So I think in other aspects he shows it in a really good way.
How's Todd going?
Yeah, obviously he's going through a bit at the moment. He's going to be out for this weekend under the protocol. So yeah, you wouldn't say it's ideal for Todd in that scenario, and he's missed a bit of footy this year. And yeah, as a group and as a friend, I'm feeling for him. He's going through a bit. So yeah, definitely thinking about him.
How can you get around him as a group? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think just checking in on him and first of all making sure his health and well-being is okay. And I know his partner and his family have been huge for him in that area as well. But as a footy club, we like to think we're a part of his family as well. So just doing everything we can to make sure that yeah, first and foremost that he's going okay with his health.
Is it we've seen players retire this year, young players, and Todd's only 25. I'm not saying it's getting there, but is it your football immortality? Is it frightening to be confronted with that as players? How easily it can sort of be taken away?
Yeah, most definitely. It's definitely, you've seen it across the league with a few players this year, and it's definitely something as a player that you're cautious of, and you want to be playing footy as long as you can, and you don't want to see any player go through that. So yeah, but I feel like the AFL have been putting in some really good steps and progressions to try and make the longevity of the game as best as possible, and clubs do a great job of that as well. So I know Toddy will have the best support from the AFL and also club-wise as well.
The intensity and pressure on Friday night just looked to be 110%, like every single contest right until the end of the game. Do we sort of underestimate how much effort and exertion that takes, and then how do you then back that up on Friday night against the best team in the comp?
Yeah, no doubt. Finals footy is a tough game, and yeah, I felt like we need to live in that space to be able to perform and ideally get success in that space. So first of all, it comes into training, and I feel like our training the last week and again today was really good and really primed us to put us in the best position possible to go out there and execute that style of play again. So yeah, I feel like during the week you set yourself up with your planning, your vision, and then ultimately going there and training under similar pressure and intensity really helps when it comes around the game day.
I know you're going to say, all the focus is on Friday night, but when you get so close to a grand final, do you think about it just a little bit? I mean, these opportunities don't come around very often in footy, do they?
Yeah, I probably think about it 350 days of the year, to be honest. I love footy, and as a kid you dream of playing in these moments in grand final days, so there's probably not too many days I think about it, so in that aspect it probably doesn't change too much. But yeah, in terms of this week, like you said, I've got a job to do this weekend, and you can't really think about it too much. I guess you've got to think about the prelim and how good of a team Sydney are, and that you're going to have to play your best footy to beat them.
So have you and the leadership group had any conversations, or will have any conversations with Isaac coming now that he wants to come to South Australia?
To be honest, I haven't actually thought about anything about the trade or anything yet. We've still got footy to be played and finals to be played, but I'm sure the club in the background and our recruiting team are doing a lot of work in that space, and as they do throughout the year. I think if you look across the league, there's already a lot of things sort of going on behind the scenes, and that's why we have them in place to target players and target needs for the club, and I'm sure the club will be brutal in trying to get better again. And but as a player, I haven't really thought about that too much yet.
Do you get James Jordan on Friday night, and are you more quick now, or do you feel like you're better at handling attack if it comes?
Yeah, they've looked at doing that at stages this year with James Jordan. He's a pretty hard player to play against them. So, yeah, whether he comes to me or Hornet or Connor, I feel like there's a few in there he could go to at different stages. So, as a team, we'll be based to prepare that, and we've looked at that already, and that's something that we'll be expecting. So, if they choose to do that, we'll be ready for it.
What have you learnt
Last
about?
couple of
What have you learnt about, I guess, shaking the tag or dealing with the tag this year? Because they've been pretty hard on you, this year.
Yeah, teams have sort of come with that plan, and to be fair, it's probably been back in the game over the majority of years for a lot of different players, and see Lockie Neal with it again on the weekend, and he's sort of one I've looked up to throughout the year, and probably the last 3 or 4 years he deals with it most weeks, more than most. So, I had a few little chats to him over the time, and he's given me some good advice. So I feel like I've got some good plans in place and some good people in my corner to help me out. But at the end of the day, it's up to me to beat it and me to go out there and compete and fight hard and help my team win.
You're such a fan favourite. Do you feel for those supporters that are struggling to get over there at the moment with, it's cost of living and all those sorts of things, and then flights and tickets, they're not cheap. It's not easy to access the footy for everyone.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like it's probably more of a challenge than ever with flights and tickets, and I think even getting tickets, even getting the chance to actually purchase them has been pretty hard this week for our fans and many people across the AFL as well. And but we know how dedicated and how passionate our fans are, and they pretty much do whatever they can every week to try and get to the footy. So it's looked like they've done no different this week, and that's why we love playing in front of them, and that's why we love the sport.
How does that?
Last one.
I was just going to say, how does that inspire you as players? You've got people taking buses and trains and all sorts of ways to get there. That sort of commitment from supporters, how does that give you a boost as a playing group? Yeah,
definitely appreciate it as a playing group, and it probably goes undervalued how much they mean to the footy club, and obviously we're the players and there's coaches and there's lots of people behind the scenes, but they're definitely a heartbeat of the club, and I guess that's why we love playing in front of them at home, and then when they travel they're just as good. So keep showing up, and we'll keep trying to get wins from them.